morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is you're listening to me here on the podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Moore Army podcast. How you all doing out there? Welcome to this Thursday's edition. It's Thursday once again. I know the weekend is almost upon us once again, but here it's all good. It's my favorite day of the week. As you all know, if you're a regular listener to this podcast, you know Thursday is my favorite day of the week. But anyway, yes, guys, hope you're all doing well. If you haven't checked out last Tuesday's episode of the podcast, which I put up there a few days ago, it's available as always on whatever platform you're listening to me right here, right now. You can go back and check it out and listen to the episode. If you want to listen to it on any other platforms, it is available on Apple Music, Spotify, the Moore Army Podcast YouTube channel, which if you're listening to us right now, don't forget to hit subscribe and obviously like this video on YouTube. We're also available on TuneIn Radio and all your other good sources as well, where you can find your podcast too. So don't forget to check out last Tuesday's episode. But yes, guys, it is now Thursday. Got some interesting stories to talk about on the podcast today. But it's been a busy old few 2 days since the last time I spoke to you. But I'm looking forward to the weekend ahead. Got some interesting things coming up this weekend. And most importantly, as you all know, guys, if you're regulars in this podcast, Thursday is my beer day, where I like to have a nice wee bit of me time on a Thursday night, where a few beers, kick back, put the feet up and chill out and switch off from the big bad world that we live in. Or sorry, should I say, the crazy world that we live in. So, but anyway, yes, and also we'll be answering some of your questions today here in the podcast too. And also at the end of the podcast, we'll be announcing this week's Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week. But anyway, yes, guys, let's move on here and get into some of the stuff that I like to get out of the way, first of all, each week before I, move on into the podcast here. So, yes, guys, if you're a regular listener to the podcast or if you're new to the podcast, hello, welcome back to the program, or welcome to the Moore Army Podcast for the first time. If you would like to get in touch with us here at the Moore Army Podcast, you can certainly do it by the following methods. You can contact the program for any questions or suggestions or anything you want to hear me talk about on the email, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, if you're on the world of social media, which a lot of people out there are now, well, apart from my brother, because he's not on social media, he's never been on bloody social media in his life, and he's no intentions to. Fair play to him, for doing it. You can check us out on social media, which is the Facebook page for the Moore Army, which is Moore Army YouTube channel on Facebook. You can send us a message on there. You can check out all the vlogs, photographs, and much, much more. And please drop a like on that page. I would appreciate it, guys, which is Moore Army YouTube channel on Facebook. You can contact also on Instagram, which is my Instagram, official Matthew Moore on Instagram. You can also contact me on Threads, but I'm not really on Threads. I haven't posted in about 4 or 5 months. I'm the same thing on there. I'm not on Twitter or X, as you all know by now. I refuse to go onto that platform because it's full of nutcases. And also, guys, we've just recently released, I haven't put it up on social media yet, but it's on the website right now. The Moore Army Christmas merchandise is now available. We've released a couple of jumpers and a couple of hoodies for Christmas already. For male and female, we are going to be releasing some kitty ones before the end of the weekend, which is at moorearmy.co.uk. You can listen to all the podcasts, you can check out all our social media photographs, you can check out all our vlogs and all the stuff that we've been up to over the last couple of years. We are available on there on moorearmy.co.uk. But one thing is, guys, at the moment we're having a few difficulties with the mobile site. But if you're on a laptop or a computer or whatever it is, a tablet or whatever, you can go on there and check out the Moore Army official website, which gives you all your merchandise and much more on moorearmy.co.uk. Right, what have I got for you today? Well, I've plenty there today for you guys. I got some interesting subjects that I'm going to be talking about today on the program. So let's have a look here and see what I've got for you today, because I made a few notes here today before I come on. Right, first of all, these protesters, which we've been talking about quite a lot actually, about oil protesters and all these different type of protesters. Edinburgh Castle has recently been hit by protesters, which is just absolutely disgusting. I was reading that story this morning. I want to bring that to you as well. We've got some more news on the death of Matthew Perry, which we all know we unfortunately lost at the end of last month. More information's come out on his death. Also, guys, anybody out there who uses landline mobile phones, they are on the verge of being a thing of the past. People really don't use landlines no more because of mobile phones and online video calls and online audio calls and all that as well. So BT is now began to upgrade their landline, moving them away and actually completely taking them away altogether. We got some news on that. Also, a local church in England has been banned from ringing its bell due to people multiply complaining about it. Yeah, I know. Church bells, unbelievable. What's next to be cancelled? And also, we've got a bit of an update on the moron that is Gary Lineker, which we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. He's in the news again today. So, it's absolutely crazy. So it is. All that and more here on the Moore Army podcast today. So, right, and also, guys, I'm going to answer some of your questions too. I've been speaking to some of you over the last couple of days on social media, and it's been great. They've been talking to you. So anybody I've been speaking to on social media over the last couple of days, thank you guys for all your messages. As always, I appreciate it every single week. Some of your questions have been actually really, really interesting to read. Some funny stories as well. But guys, thank you for all that. I do appreciate it as always. Right, let's get into this. First couple of wee stories I want to talk about today. But before we get into some of the stories, it's been a pretty busy day, last couple of days for me since the last time I spoke to you. I've just released another vlog there on the YouTube channel. Where Lewis and Brooke went to the dentist, and also Lewis finally got his hands on some of this fucking KSI Prime, whatever it is. This Prime thing isn't as bad as what it used to be. I mean, I got a lot of younger listeners contacting me all the time, like whenever Lewis got his Lemonade one in England, and he got his Dodgers Prime as well. People have been contacting me and saying, "Oh, can you get me bottles of this and bottles of that?" And it's just been one thing after another. This Prime phase is now starting to phase out, which is good because I've been telling Lewis this for a long time. I've been saying to him for weeks, Lewis, no matter where you go, son, see within a couple of months, this whole fighting argument and fighting to get balls of Prime will be a thing of the past. Like, you can walk into most shops now and you can see it sitting there. You know, it's literally sitting there for next to nothing. And you can get it quite easily now. But he got his KSI bottle. I don't fucking know. He's over the moon with that. Like, so apparently he's only got one more to get. So, but here, any younger listeners out there, this thing that they were doing recently with Logan Paul and KSI in London and New York, where they put this gold bottle of Prime, which apparently was worth £250,000 for a fucking gold bottle. And they're asking people to go and try and enter this code into this event thing. You go to this big safe thing where it is, and you put the number into the thing, and if you unlock it, you get to keep it. And if not, it gets melted down. These boys must have more money than fucking sense to burn, like, seriously. Gold bottles of Prime, like, what is going on? Like, seriously, for the love of frig, like, these boys must have more money than sense. But some wee young kid apparently won it in London. I don't know why they got it in New York, like, but I think they got what I saw on, I think it was Instagram the other day. Lewis sent it to me on a message saying, "Dad, check it out." And I was like, for fuck's sake, it's Prime, it's a drink. I don't know. It's crazy. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, he finally got that. There's another new video I'm going to be dropping probably today, guys. I was up there a few not that long ago, actually, up visiting the new Royal Garden in, I think it's near Newton Abbey here, where they opened this new garden for King Charles and Queen Camilla, I call her Chlamydia, because I personally don't like her. So I was up there, and it was quite an interesting trip, so I've got some footage to show of that in the next vlog. I was talking about it on Tuesday's episode, guys, about mum and dad getting the new kitchen put in at the minute. Fuck me, my head's melted with it all. Honest to God, mum has my head melted with all this nonsense about her kitchen. See, the thing is, guys, my mum has really bad OCD. And she'll not admit it to you, but she has got really bad OCD when it comes to cleaning. And, like, this is a woman who is, like, constantly, her house has to be cleaned every day, full deep clean nearly every day of the week. She's fucking mustard for it, like. And at the minute with this kitchen being put in, she's panicking about all the dust and all the crap going on. She's getting a new kitchen fitted and she's getting new stuff put into her home, which is in desperate need because we needed to get it done for her because our kitchen's outdated and some of her stuff in her and dad's bungalow is really outdated. So it's all being done at the minute. It's all getting fixed up for her, and she's getting a new kitchen all put in. So she's over the moon, but she's kind of like, fucking, my God, she's my head turned every day. She's on the phone going, oh my God, they're doing this, they're doing that. I spoke to her this morning on the phone there before I come on the air today. And I was like, how you going? Oh, it's all good now. They're putting the kitchen into itself today, and then the tiler's coming and all. But she's my head turned. So I was around the other night and I documented some of the stuff of her kitchen for a vlog. So I'm going to be going around probably tomorrow at some point, maybe in the afternoon, to go around and see her and do a bit of an RV update. I'm going to do like a couple of wee videos of obviously processing from, like when I was there the other night, it was like literally a fucking shell. There was nothing there. Like there was no cupboards, there was no nothing. The whole place was ripped apart. So I'm going to go around and do another wee bit of it and then go back again whenever it's completely finished and show you her whole new kitchen, because her new kitchen just looks amazing compared to what it used to look like. Because, I mean, her kitchen was outdated, it was old, and I kept saying to her, like, Mum, you need to get your kitchen changed. So we'll finally get it all organised for her, and she's all changed and all nice. So, but she was round last night with Dad, and they come round, because the last few days they've been using my cooker and stuff, because obviously they can't cook because there's no facilities to cook in. So they were around yesterday, and she was stressing and she's panicking and whatever else. But here's the thing, tonight, this is a good thing, actually, this has actually happened this week. Tonight, I organised, my dad's a big Elvis Presley fan, so I organised him to go and see probably one of the best Elvis impersonators on the planet. This guy actually looks like Elvis, which is actually quite scary when you watch him. They're going to see that tonight, so hopefully that night out for them too, which is very, very rare for Mum and Dad. They don't really go to concerts and go to nights out because they're just absolute fucking old school nightmare, like. But they're going out tonight, and hopefully that'll take her mind off things for at least 24 hours at least. Because she's panicking and she's stressing and she's like, oh my God, my kitchen, the dust, the dirt. And I'm like, Mum, seriously. The guys are actually doing a very good job, because when every day they leave the house, when I was around the other night, there was nothing. They had everything cleaned up and wiped down and brushed up, and they were really, really good. But it's not Mum good, if you know what I mean, because she's really fucking extreme with OCD. So, yeah, nightmare. But they're going to this concert tonight, so hopefully Ben Portsmouth, you call this guy, guys. If you're any Elvis fans out there, check this guy out. He's awesome. Ben Portsmouth. He's really, really good. He's probably one of the best impersonators in the world for Elvis. And they're going to see him tonight in the Ulster Hall. So Mum and Dad will be there tonight, and they'll have a field day, and they'll have a ball, and Dad will be excited more than anything else, to be quite honest. But I keep telling the two of them all the time, you need to get out and do more things like this. Like, go to concerts, go to shows, do more things. Mum and Dad are very old school. You know, they don't go out that often. Okay, maybe go to Liverpool for a day or two here and there or whatever else, but they're very set in their fucking ways. And I keep telling them for years, get up and live your life more. Stop sitting about and doing nothing. You know, stop doing the same old crap every day, the same Groundhog Day bullshit. Get out and live your life more. Go to see shows. Go and try new things. Travel more. You know, because at the end of the day, guys, you know yourself, life's too fucking short. And I keep telling them that. And especially with Dad there last year, at the start of this year, having his minor heart attack in February, I was saying to Dad, like, you know, I got a warning shot, like, for you to go and live your life more instead of just sitting about and doing fuck all. But hopefully this is the start of it, and they get to go and do more things, because at the end of the day, they need to go and have a good night. It's as simple as that. They need to go and have a good time. So they do. So they're away tonight. Hopefully that'll take a stress off of her kitchen, and plus it'll stop her from fucking torturing me. Because every Thursday night when I'm sitting having a beer with Tony, my brother, which he'll not be here tonight, by the way, he's spending some quality time with his daughter, which is understandable. Can't believe his daughter's 13 now. It's fucking scary. So yeah, I normally like video call Mum on a Thursday night and wind her up and have a laugh with her and tell her jokes and everything else. So I'll not be doing that tonight, and I'll hear from her when she gets back from the concert. So, but no, they've been filling my ear for weeks about it, and they're finally going tonight. So hopefully this takes their mind off all this crap that they're going through with their kitchen. But yes, guys, over the next couple of days, I'll be posting a video of the progress of Mum's kitchen from what it was to what it is now. So interesting. So it is. She'll be over the moon. But then whenever they put it all in, she'll probably go in and she'll be cleaning it for days, make sure it's immaculate. And Mum reminds me of Monica from Friends. You know, one of them ones where she had a Hoover. She'd have to have a mini Hoover to clean the Hoover, and then a mini Hoover to clean the actual mini Hoover. She's a fucking nightmare. So she is. So here's hoping that tonight's the show they're going to see is a start of things going forward, because they need to get out more. And I keep fucking telling them this all the time. It's like, Mum, Dad, you need to get out and live your life more. but they're old school. So they are. So, but anyway, let's get into some. Well, here, before I do actually go, this weekend's going to be quite a busy one for me as well. Big football game on Saturday as well. Well, Lewis and I, a late one on Saturday night for Lewis and I. We're sitting up watching a wrestling pay-per-view coming up on the weekend as well. And also the usual stuff going on Sunday too as well. So got a pretty busy weekend ahead. So we'll have. So it's going to be interesting. Plus, before I go any further today, I want to give a birthday shout out to my friend Chris, who was his birthday yesterday, but we're actually heading out tomorrow evening, and we're going out for about an hour or two tomorrow evening to celebrate his birthday, because obviously I've got football on Saturday morning, so I'll have to behave myself. So I'll go down, show my face, say hello, the usual stuff, and catch up with Chris and his missus. You've seen him in my vlogs a couple of times over the years, like his wedding day in England, when he got married to the girl who he's married to from England. They've moved back here to Northern Ireland now. He was on Brooke's 16th birthday vlog as well. So, yeah, Chris's birthday was yesterday, so a big happy birthday to Chris. And if he's listening, which I know he tends to listen to the podcast sometimes, Chris, if you're listening, you're getting old. He used to say to me for a long time, you're an old man, all that. Who's getting old now? So there you go. But anyway, yes, that's his birthday shout out done. Happy birthday, Chris, and I'll see you tomorrow night. But anyway, yes, guys, I've got some stories I'm going to talk to you about today before going any further, and then obviously get into some of your questions, and then obviously getting into the whole Jackass of the Week segment. So, but guys, I hope you all have a great weekend yourselves out there. I was talking to a few of you there on Instagram the other night there. I was talking to a couple actually from England the other night there, and they were saying that they're going away to Barbados in January. So I said to him I'd give him a wee shout out on the podcast today. So to Stephen and Stephanie, the two S's as I called them, salt and sugar, they're away on holiday in January. So guys, I hope you have a great time. I was talking to you on Instagram the other night. So yes, I hope you all have a great time away, and bring us back something nice, would you? No, I'm only kidding. Any room in your suitcase for me? No? Oh well. But no, it was great talking to you on Instagram. I was talking about you and stuff, and you've also got yourself recently a wee puppy called Phoenix. So I was talking to you the other night on Instagram for a wee bit. So big shout out to those guys, and I hope you have a great time away in January. And thank you for obviously being a supporter of the Moore Army YouTube channel, and also being a supporter of the Moore Army podcast. I appreciate it. Right, what have I got for you today? I'll start off here. Edinburgh Castle. Now, Edinburgh's one of these places I've never been to. Never been to Edinburgh in my life. Mum and Dad were in Edinburgh not that long ago. I think it was the start of the year nearly. And they obviously enjoyed it, but with Mum and Dad, they don't do as much sightseeing and stuff as I do. They just go for basically to get away and obviously switch off. But Edinburgh Castle, a famous landmark here in the UK, especially in Scotland, has a display in the Edinburgh Castle has been smashed up by these climate protesters. With the Stone of Destiny case being damaged. Listen to this here. These fucking lunatics are out again now. These are not oil protesters. I think they're climate protesters, whatever the hell they are now. Edinburgh Castle has closed multiple rooms of the pub to the public after a display case holding the Stone of Destiny was smashed up by protesters. Demonstrators from This Is Rigged says the protest was to demand action on the cost of living crisis. Yeah, I know. These fucking morons, more morons out there now. A manager of the castle's commitment actually made a statement saying anyone who has already purchased tickets will be allowed to remain in the building, but that new visitors would not be allowed to be admitted. It's actually housed in the crown room of the castle, which also contains the honours of Scotland. These rigged protesters smashed the glass case surrounding the block of it and said... obviously, this has been used since the 13th century, and obviously one of the representations of this fucking lunatic groups come out and say that because of the cost of living crisis. What planet are these people living on? Like, I've been talking about oil protesters for months, and obviously my experience running into them as well, but now these lunatics are going around because of the cost of living crisis. Please tell me for anything here that these morons are going to be arrested for criminal damage and, the they're going to be either heavily fined or jailed because of this. You know, I know they've been arrested, but please tell me they're going to be charged. For what I was reading this morning, one 20-year-old man and two women aged 20 and 24 have been arrested. You know, please tell me these wingnuts, these nutcases are going to be standing in front of a judge and had the book through at them because of the cost of living crisis. Like, what planet do these people live on? I talk about this every week. And now more damage being caused. Edinburgh Castle. Like, seriously, what are they getting out of it? You know, are they attention seekers? Probably. 20-year-olds, so they're probably like millennials, little fucking millennial whippersnapper fucking know-it-all morons that going around thinking the world spins around them. Like, why are they doing this? What is the point in this? That they're going to, number one, they're going to ruin their own lives by getting criminal records. But again, this new group are probably part like what the oil protesters are, thinking these little high-educated, overprivileged, silver spoon in their mouth assholes think that they don't have to work because mummy and daddy have plenty of money. Or they're being funded on GoFundMe by all these rich fucking woke dopes. Like just oil protesters. Or stop oil protesters, whatever the fuck they're called. Just when I read that story this morning, and obviously I read a bit of it late last night too, I was thinking to myself, like, how many of what planet do they, see these millennials, they need a good, in my opinion, a good fucking slap round the ear hole and a good boot up the ass and say, right, enough's enough. Unless you want to go to jail, get up, get on with it, get a fucking job, go and sort yourself out and stop acting like a complete lunatic. But again, these buns will probably think they're overprivileged and they're probably little rich kiddies, and I can guarantee you now they probably are, because majority of these fuckers are like that. So just want to sing that there. It actually happened, the incident yesterday, and around about, I was reading about 10:30 in the morning it happened. And it's just getting to the point now where these lunatics need to be, I'm fed up talking. It's like repeating yourself every fucking week in this podcast talking about it. It's just some of the stuff that you see popping up in the news and you're going to yourself like, what the fuck is going on with this world? But if obviously the likes of me or you, the listener, unless you're one of these crazy listeners that I get occasionally popping up on social media. Hi, hello crazy listeners. Yeah. You know, if it was me or Mr. Normal Guy down the street, you know, we'd be standing in front of a judge and hammered. But because they're part of these fucking, could you say the word cults, going around thinking they're overprivileged and they're so special and everything, and they can get away with murder because their mummy and daddy knows a lawyer or knows a police officer or friends with judge, whatever the fuck their name is. That just, oh my God. Thank God my kids are not like that. Like, if my daughter walked in tomorrow at 18 years of age and went, Daddy, I'm going to be part of the Just Oil protesters, I'm like, oh, you fuck. Do you want to boot up the hole? Like, seriously, I don't think so. You know, you're going to grow up a nice, normal, civilized human being who's going to work hard for their living and live a normal, standard life. If you become either famous or you become this or become that, happy days, but running around like a lunatic like them morons, I don't think so. So, I know obviously it should be a teen's their own decision and all, like, but at the end of the day, you know, you try and guide your kids to bring them up properly. But some of these wee overprivileged pricks that are walking around now thinking they know everything and the world spins around them, and if they don't get what they want, they go online and make videos and boo-hoo and cry about it. I was actually talking to a friend about that last night, actually, over a coffee. I was saying last night about it, going, you know, all these wee overprivileged pricks, and they'll get what they want. They go on to like TikTok and cry and go, oh my God, I don't get what I want. Oh, I'm going to cry. Boo-hoo. But just when I saw that there, they're attacking now Edinburgh Castle. It's actually disgusting. So it is. It's actually, it's I don't know. I really don't know. Moving on to some other news. BT, yes, British Telecom, BT, the biggest phone provider in the UK, have began their upgrades now. They announced this a few months ago that they're going to be weeding and winding down the use of home telephones. Now, here's the thing. You remember, any of my older listeners out there who listen to this podcast probably remember the days whenever you were charged extortionate amount of money to use your landline phone. Or even when the days of the internet first came around, where you were like, get off that phone, I'm on the internet. I can't use the phone on the internet at the same time. You know, when the old times of dial-up internet and stuff like that. And, you know, you only called your friends at weekends because it was cheaper. And even people then, back then, even you were using payphones a lot more too as well. But BT are now planning to upgrade the lines of starting in London to move more towards broadband powered phones instead of your old traditional landline phones. They are going to be switching off old landlines across the capital, which they're starting in London and working their way all across the UK and Northern Ireland as it continues to push for its 2024 deadline. They've started turning off copper old school landlines in the Greater London area. Everyone nationwide will be moved to a digital voice handset by next summer. So more people now don't use landline mobile phones anymore. Like I changed my internet provider not that long ago, and you know, they were saying to me, do you want a landline phone? And I'm like, no, because I never use it. I use mobile phones instead, which is obviously everybody uses a mobile phone now, but long gone the days where, you know, you were like charged a fortune to use your phone, or you could only ring people after a certain time at night, or, you know, not very many people use landlines anymore. It's all like Zoom calls and FaceTime calls and WhatsApp video calls and audio calls on WhatsApp and audio calls on whatever else. Everything's all going online now, which, you know, it's an end of an era, really, when you think about it. You know, as I just said there a few seconds ago about the days where the internet first came out, you know, when someone went onto the landline, it made your even slow internet go even fucking slower. The times of the old dial-up internet, and then when broadband was first brought on the market by BT, it was one of the biggest revolutions. Oh my God, it was brilliant and all. And, you know, the evolution of the phone has changed so much over the years. And with BT now switching off all of its old landlines, it's going to be a thing of the past. So it is, where people are just using more things in their pocket now, like a mobile phone. Even payphones now are not even being used anymore. Because, I mean, in recent months there, me and Lewis have ran into some old red telephone boxes in England, like in Blackpool and Chester and Wigan. I think it was the day we were in Wigan. We'd done a funny part of a video where Lewis was in a phone box and he near shit himself because he was pretending to ring his nanny back home, but I actually wrote down the number on the actual telephone and I phoned it because he shit himself because the phone started to ring and he was like, oh my God, who's ringing me? That's what you get for messing about with the phone. They ring you back. But my kids never really grew up around payphones and stuff like that because obviously people stopped using them. I mean, I used to use payphones back in the day because we never really had the privilege of having broadband in the house when I was a kid, because mum and dad never really had much internet in the house, to be honest with you, at the time. They had a landline, but very rarely you were allowed to use it unless you paid for your call. I remember the times where people used to have like wee money boxes sitting beside their landline phone in their hallway, so every time someone used their phone they were putting money in the box. It was like the old fucking TV, the hard TVs back in the day, where there was a meter on the side of it and you had to put like 50p or a pound in to watch TV for so long, and then if you didn't, then the money ran out, the fucking TV turned off. But a lot of you younger listeners out there will probably not understand what I'm talking about, but go and look it up. But yes, BT are now confirmed plans to switch over traditional landlines and replace them with internet-based digital voice services across, starting from the Greater London area. They work all across the UK and Northern Ireland. It starts in the greater area of London in the next few weeks, and it's coming to an era of the end of the old traditional landline phone. Sorry, but the evolution of the phone has changed so much over the years, hasn't it? I mean, not very many people even make phone calls now. It's all FaceTime calls or WhatsApp messages, or, you know, it's just so rare now. You see many people on the phone, unless you work in a call centre, of course, like then you're constantly on the phone all fucking day, which I've worked in call centres and it's stressful. So it is. But that's the thing, though. What's going to be happening to call centres as well, especially if they're switching off landline phones, traditional old landline phones? What's going to happen to call centres? Is it all going to be digital now by computers, or is it going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting over the next few months, heading in the next summer, to see exactly what is going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see, especially call centres. It's going to be strange unless they sort of make an exception for businesses like that or whatever. I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see over the next few months. But the old landline phones is going to be a thing of the past, which is strange. So it is. But hey ho, here's a wee story for you. for the podcast today. Church. Now, everybody, probably people listening to my podcast are churchgoers. I've spoken to Christians who've sent me messages and all over the years. I've got good friends of mine who are Christians as well. Church bells. Everybody knows big churches all have church bells. There's a few churches here where I live in Northern Ireland here have lovely church bells, and you love hearing them. You hear them on Sunday morning when people are going to church. You hear them on wedding days, and all different things like that. But a historic church has been banned from ringing its bells in England due to multiple complaints from younger people. Church bell, which has been rang in this specific church in England, it's called the Birth Parish Church in Ayrshire. Is it Ayrshire? I think it's in Scotland, maybe. I don't know where. It's been ringing its bell for over 200 years, but now a lot of younger residents in the area have made multiple complaints and have now had it restricted to using ringing their bell because it doesn't suit them in their sleeping patterns. Maybe it's some of them young whippersnappers who don't want to get out of their bed till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, and the bells are disturbing their sleep even though they've been in bed for about 14 fucking hours. Some of the local younger residents have complained to the Council Environmental Health Department, who have advised the Church of Scotland, sorry, it is in Scotland, I apologise, the Church of Scotland to silence the bell. They've now stopped the bells between the hours, no bells to be rang in this church anytime after 9 a.m. up till a certain time in the evening, because it's disturbing the younger generation from their sleep pattern. Oh, poor babies can't get no sleep. What's wrong? You too busy lying in bed at like 3 in the afternoon? The Church of Scotland obviously came out and made a statement about it, saying it's been ringing these bells for over 200 years, so why all of a sudden the change? There's further discussions going on at the minute, and they're trying to stop a ban. They're trying to protest for a ban for only certain days of the week and possibly stopping altogether. Are you fucking serious? These younger ones again trying to cancel church bells? What the fuck is next? What are they cancelling next? Church bells is a tradition, like a wedding day or a church service or something, like a major thing happens, and obviously just a general thing. Well, why do these people try to cancel fucking everything? It's church bells, for Christ's sake. What's next? And I know I did say for Christ's sake, and I do apologise for that, but my God, like, what is next? They're just trying to cancel everything. Everything. Church bells now. What's next? I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, moving on. Like, I've talked about this for the last couple of weeks, and everybody's still shocked and in mourn of the death of legendary comedian, actor, Friends superstar Matthew Perry. Now, we all know he passed away a few weeks ago, and it shocked the world, and still a lot of people are still shocked to this day, the fact that Matthew Perry is no longer with us. We all know he was found unconscious in his hot tub at his home in LA, and unfortunately, obviously he's passed away. We've seen air shots of the funeral. We've seen the Friends cast members get into the funeral. There wasn't very many people attended the service because of obviously his request. Over the last 48 hours, some of the cast members have actually come out and made statements, now individual statements. The only one that actually hasn't made a statement at the minute is Lisa Kudrow, who played Phoebe. But more information has come out on the death of Matthew Perry. They're now saying that there was no serious drugs in his body when he passed away, because we all know, guys, about his addiction to pills and medication, and obviously drugs and alcohol and things like that. But it's now come out and said that there was no drugs, the likes of methadone or any cocaine or any sort of stuff that is illegal in the time of his death. But there's still sort of a couple more investigations going on. There was no overdose as well on his body, but they did find like antidepressants at his home, which he was prescribed to by his doctor. We all know, obviously, for the last couple of years of his life that he was clean and he was trying to help other people and, trying to help people stop being alcoholics and druggies and things like that. It was just great, some of the work that he was doing. It's just obviously sad that he's no longer with it, but they said that the Mountain Nine said that there should be more reports coming out in the next few weeks. More in-depth tests are currently being conducted at the moment as part of the toxicology report that will be coming out soon. But it's good to hear that he wasn't like falling off the wagon again before he passed away. But to be quite honest with you guys, in my opinion, I think his body's just give up on him. You know, he had 14 stomach operations. He had his colon exploded at one point. His body, you know, there was times that he should have been dead. He even said in the start of his book as well, which I bought a copy of recently. Well, when it first came out, actually last year, Brooke wanted to read it because obviously she loves Matthew Perry. So I've listened to about 3/4 of it on the audio version of it, and some of the stuff that he says that he was doing, it was absolutely incredible. But something now saying that the death now at the moment is being classed as deferred. But we're still waiting for more stuff coming out over the next few weeks. So still can't wrap my head around the fact that he's not here anymore. He was only 50. Was he 53 or 54? I mean, that's nothing. You know what I mean? And people are still asking me questions about it. You know, what's your thoughts on it? What do you think, how he passed away? You do get the occasional sarcastic fucking numpty coming in saying, he overdosed or he was too pissed and all and blah, blah, blah. I personally think it's his body's just give up on him. And his heart's just couldn't take it anymore, and he's just passed away. So it kind of reminds me of obviously, you guys, if you're a regular listener to the podcast, you all know or watch my YouTube videos, you know I'm a wrestling fan. Funny enough, it was the other day, actually, wrestler Eddie Guerrero was dead 18 years ago. I can't believe it's been 18 years since he passed. He had drug addiction problems and all too as well, and he was clean for about 6 or 7 years, and then finally his heart, even though he didn't take drugs anymore and he didn't drink alcohol, he was legitimately clean, full on 100% clean. He was celebrating his sobriety, I think it was 6 years or 7 years, and he was in a hotel room brushing his teeth, and boom, his heart just gave in and he died. He dropped dead in the hotel room. So it just shows you guys that the more you abuse your body, it will eventually catch up with you, which is so sad. So it is. But yeah, at the moment they're saying there was no major drugs found in his body. There was no alcohol so far. So it's all looking like it's probably heading towards cardiac arrest, guys, to be honest, which is kind of sad, you know. But we'll know more in the next few weeks and few months ahead. So it will be. But anyway, before I get into the questions, guys, today, I want to talk about this fucking balloon head Gary Lineker. There's a whole thing going on at the minute about TV rights for Match of the Day. Is he going to stay with the programme? There's been talking in the news the last few days. Is he going to leave? Obviously, he's been in controversial news recently as well, and he's come out and made a statement apparently saying now that he's going to be staying with the programme for the time being until otherwise changed. You know, I get a lot of football fans asking me about Gary Lineker and stuff, and a lot of questions actually fun about Roy Keane as well. What's my views on Roy Keane as a pundit? I think he's straight to the point. Like, he doesn't take no bullshit. I always get questions asked, what do you think of Gary Neville and Jimmy Carragher working together? I think they're funny. The two of them together are brilliant. But you asked me that 20 years ago when they were playing, I would have told you where to go. But Gary Lineker at the minute, some of the controversial stuff he's been getting away with and all recently as well, I think he should personally be sacked. But again, he's a BBC fucking moron, so he'll probably get away with it as usual. But in the news recently, he's come out and said that he's going to be trying to stay with the programme for Match of the Day, which he's been hosting since 1999, which I can't believe. It's been fucking 1999. Yeah, I remember 1999 like it was yesterday. But yeah, will he be sacked? Will he be shown the door? Will he still be there? We'll just have to wait to see, football fans, and see how it goes over the next few weeks. But there you go. Right, let's get into some of your questions for today. I love your questions. I got them sitting here this morning. I'm actually recording the podcast here at my kitchen table. So if the microphone sounds a bit echoey, I do apologise. Just sort of sitting here this morning, and I'm looking outside, and it's a bit overcast, a bit dull and dreary, but I don't really care, to be honest with you, because I've got a nice weekend ahead of myself, and I'm looking forward to it. So I am. So, right. But anyway, let's get into some of your questions. I'll go to the email first of all, which you can contact me on, moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Sorry if I sound a bit dreary today, guys. Just feeling a bit rough around the edges today, but didn't really sleep very well last night, to be honest with you. I'm a bit sort of tired and stuff today, but once I get more coffee into me and stuff and a lovely hot shower this morning, I'll feel a hell of a lot better, trust me. Anyway, let's get into some of your questions here on the email first of all. Right, I want to hear from David. David writes to me, "Hi Matthew, love listening to the podcast every single week. Can I ask you a question? Are you a fan of cricket?" Just thought I would ask. Have a good day. Okay, David. Well, am I a fan of cricket? Not really. My dad's a massive cricket fan. My dad loves cricket. He could watch it all day. And saying that, back in the day, I used to have a cricket game for my PS2 called Brian Lara's Cricket. And I tell you what, I used to play that for hours and hours and hours a day. I used to love that game back in the day. So much fun to play. Loved it. So I did. Brian Lara's Cricket. What a great game. Now, in saying that there, where I live, there's a cricket club not too far, or a cricket team not too far from me, and there's been times I've always wanted to go over and watch them. But every time I find out there's a game on, it's either a day late or I'm away somewhere or I'm doing something. And my dad, as I said, he's obsessed with cricket. He absolutely loves cricket. He can watch cricket all day, all types of test cricket, one-day cricket, World Cup. He loves it. He watches it all the time. I think it's probably his favourite channel is obviously Sky Sports, which is the main event obviously for football, Premier League, whatever, for football, Sky Sports News for the news, and then Sky Sports Cricket. So Dad loves it. But yes, Dad loves cricket more than I do. I played a bit of cricket when I went to school, when I was younger, which I enjoyed. But I've never been really a big cricket fan. I'm not a big rugby fan either, because I get a lot of these asking me all the time about rugby. I'm not a real big rugby fan, to be quite honest with you either, but there you go. But anyway, thank you for your question. I do appreciate it as always. Right, let's get into another one here on the email from Ross. Ross writes to me. Right? Guys, on your emails, I keep asking you to tell me where you're from, so I can say, like, Ross here, for example. Ross is from wherever, Obviously like to hear where you're from. Just obviously give you a proper shout out and stuff like that there. Hi Matthew, how you doing? My son is currently going through his A-levels at the moment in school. Just wanted to know, what sort of life did you have at school, education-wise? Did you leave school with high education or standard education? What's your view on that? Could you get my opinion on this? Also, what's your current view at the moment of pupils who missed out on their GCSE proper during the whole COVID situation? Okay, that's a bit of an interesting question. Well, thank you very much for that. I'll start with myself first of all. I left school with obviously GCSEs. I wish I had pursued further, but obviously going into different jobs and stuff over the years, I've gained other qualifications, like, for example, retail qualifications when I worked in the care homes for years. I got some MVQs, which are probably long expired by now. All different trainings I've done over the years, gaining different experiences and stuff like that there. But to be honest with you, when it came to I didn't even do A-levels or nothing. So I do kind of regret that. And I look back at that and go, well, maybe, because you do get sometimes older people come back to college or tech college or whatever it is, or to try and reset, try and get themselves a better education down the line. But one thing I did do from this was actually, use it as fuel to push my kids to do better. For example, with Brooke. Like, Brooke done her A-levels and all last year, pushed her for her to get those. Now Lewis is starting his GCSE years of school and pushing him for that too as well. So I'm trying to obviously get my kids to have a better education, whatever, than what I did, if you know what I mean. So, but no, standard GCSE levels, left school. Now obviously I do obviously working jobs now, which, sometimes I think to myself, how the hell am I in this job? A lot of work that I do now is all self-taught. Believe it or not, I sat and taught myself how to do certain things and how to do the things that I do for my work and stuff like that. So I'm quite fortunate that way. But GCSE standard. Anyway, you're saying there about the whole situation with the kids and the COVID and stuff like that there. Funny enough, you mentioned that to me this morning. Children who missed out, obviously a lot of, I think it was at the time when there was COVID, they were giving out results based on their work and stuff, which I thought was a load of bullshit. Kids should have been at school. It's as simple as that. We all know that now. I thought it was bullshit because, again, there was a lot of pupils out there who were getting graded who could have had better grades because obviously they were a lot more intelligent and whatever else. It was just so frustrating time for kids at the time during their GCSEs and their exams and all during the time of COVID. It was actually ridiculous. So it was, the way kids were treated during that whole situation. Kids should have been at school. It's as simple as that. We all know that by now, obviously, because obviously what's come out in all over the last year or two. There's a thing this morning, I think I was briefly reading it this morning online, saying GCSE students in England to get COVID support. just saying here, I've actually pulled up here on my laptop as I'm talking to you to try and see if I can find anything on it here, but I'm answering your question. But yeah, I think at the time it was actually ridiculous the way kids were treated during it all. And, kids should have been at school. And the fact that they sent them back to school, then they pulled them out and then sent them back, and it was just a mess with their kids big time. Guys, go back to my YouTube channel and you can watch all the videos during that time as well, where you see my kids at the kitchen table every morning doing their classes, where a lot of kids didn't give a shit. They were lying in their bed going, I'll just sign into the class and just sit there and do nothing. My kids were at the kitchen table every single day learning, and I was teaching them stuff as well that I knew and trying to keep their education up to standard, where a lot of parents out there, let's let their kids go fucking do what they want, time off school, lie in bed for a few weeks, do what they want. Not all parents were doing it, but I made sure my kids were signed into their classrooms every morning, and they were sitting there and they were ready to rock and roll every day. Because at the end of the day, as I said when I started answering your question there, that I tried to get my kids to get a better education and a better life than what I had. So I'm trying to, at least I can turn around and say, well, I brought my children up and they've went off to become this or become that or try and do this or do that. And I'll be proud of them, because obviously I've tried to sort of give them that wee nudge all the time and say, look, you want to go and do something? Do it. Don't let anybody hold you back. Keep doing it. So, but there you are. Well, thank you for your question. Appreciate it. And yes, I hope that clears that up for you. Hope it does. Right, let's have a look here and see. Right, I'll do one more on the email here before I go here now onto the social media. Let's have a wee look here and see. Right, I've one here from Roberta on the email, has said to me, Matthew, can I ask you a question in relation to hearing the news all the time about a lot of young people dying recently? Every time I turn on the news now, I hear about a lot of young people dying in relation to sudden death syndrome. It always seems to be happening over the last 2 or 3 years. A lot of people I've been doing a research on saying it could be pointing to a lot of things. It could be pointing to how their lifestyle is. A lot of people are saying it's because of the COVID jab. Also are saying as well because a lot of people don't go and get themselves checked with their doctors regularly. What's your view on this? It's a bit of an interesting question. Funny enough, you mentioned that to me. I was talking about this a few weeks ago to a friend of mine, saying ever since COVID, there's been a lot of people dying. Now, I talked about this before in the podcast weeks ago. A guy I know from Belfast lost his wife because of the COVID jab. She was a nurse at the hospital and she was forced to take it during that whole period of time where they were saying, do your job or lose your job. And she took her job and she fucking died because of it. And he ended up going to court and all because of it. But I do agree with you what you're saying. There have been a lot of young ones dying recently. I mean, I've seen it in the last year especially when you go onto social media, you hear about all these young ones just instantly just dying at the ages of early 30s, early 40s. A lot of people dying, and you don't know what it is. And again, going back, you just said there in your message there about people not going to their doctor regularly. Here's the thing: even before all that COVID nonsense and all came around, at least every 6 months to a year, I take my kids to the doctor and get them checked over, for their heart, their chest, their breathing, all their bits and bobs. Get them checked over to make sure they're grand, because you do hear a lot of sudden deaths happening in the world recently. And a lot of young ones too as well, which is strange. I don't know, obviously there's all different stories you hear about different people dying different ways. A big thing in the world right now is suicide, which is a thing that I think should be tackled more and addressed more, because there's a lot of people out there who recently have been committing suicide, which is horrible. You hear all these different stories all the time of young ones, especially in their late teens, their 20s, their early 30s and all, taking their own life because of the stresses of this world that we live in now, because the world's going fucking mad. And suicide is a big thing that needs to be addressed. Mental health as well. Being a victim of bad mental health as well. I'm quite lucky where I can sort of now I have certain people who I can talk to now, and I have this platform I can open up to as well with you guys and whatever else. So it's just, there's things in this world right now, especially for young ones, needs to be addressed. And you do make a good valid point in your email there as well, saying that people need to go be getting to their doctor checked. But then again, trying to get a doctor's appointment is like trying to get fucking blood out of a stone, or trying to find a needle in a haystack, because trying to get a freaking doctor's appointment now is a nightmare. But anyway, thank you for your email. I do appreciate it. And yes, there should be more people going to get checked. Even though for all it takes you guys 5 minutes to speak to a doctor, and go and see a doctor and just say for 5 minutes, just sit there and say, right, look, I want to be checked over here to see. But as I said to you, I would send my kids to get checked regularly, because at the end of the day, you just never ever know. You never ever know. But thank you for your email. I do appreciate it. Right, let's get into the old social media. I actually forgot to open the Facebook fan page. Isn't that really bad of me? It's a good thing I've got my laptop here in front of me. Right, let's have a wee look here and see. Right, Facebook. I've got one here from Bill. Bill, Bill. Bill, where are you from? Bill is from North Yorkshire. He's actually wrote in the bottom of his email in capital letters as well. Well, hey, thank you, Bill from North Yorkshire. Says, hi Matthew, I've been watching your YouTube channel on and off for the last 3 years, and I've only recently came across you have a podcast as well, which I've subscribed to on YouTube. Well, thank you very much for that, Bill. He goes on to say, enjoy your podcast. Not everything you say I agree with, but at the end of the day, as you've said in your podcast many a time, it's all about argy-bargy. Agree to disagree. I didn't get that out there. Agree to disagree and more. I enjoy it every single week. Not that I get a chance to listen to it every week, because I work away from home all that. Just wanted to say, keep up the good work on the podcast and the YouTube channel. And can I ask you as well, if you didn't support Liverpool, what Premier League team would you support? Oh, fuck. To be honest, a Premier League team right now, I have a wee soft spot for Newcastle. I've always liked Newcastle. I'm trying to think. Wouldn't be Everton, I'll tell you that for free. Blue and white shade. Oh. I always sing out the matches, by the way. Blue and white shade. It's a joke, by the way. Newcastle. I always liked Newcastle. Just the thing about I enjoy watching Arsenal play now and again too as well. It's hard to say really. Probably Newcastle. There's always be a soft spot for Newcastle. So I have. But thank you for your message from North Yorkshire. What did you say? Right, let's get in here and have a look here. One more here from where are we going here? One here from Andrew Davison, who is from, where's he from? Doesn't say. Hey Matthew, with Christmas just being around the corner, are you fully prepared for Christmas this year? Also, you mentioned in one of your recent podcasts you miss Christmas with your kiddies when they're being small. I'm in the same boat with you. My kids have grown up now and moved out and are married as well. I miss the Christmas mornings of all the kids being around. Unfortunately, I have no grandkids as of yet. It's just myself and my wife, but we try to make the best out of Christmas as can. Having kids at Christmas is the best feeling in the world, especially when you give them the big surprise, and the smile on their face is priceless. Worth more than what you spend on them on gifts. Can I ask you your plans for Christmas this year? Are you having a quiet one? Are you going to be spending much time, especially with your daughter and I being 18? What is your plans for Christmas this year? Okay, well, that's a big question. So it is, but... Well, my Christmas this year is going to be a pretty quiet one this year. I think I actually talked about this the other week. There'll be the usual stuff for me, Christmas morning, up with the kiddies. It's whatever time they have to crawl out of their pit. Mum and Dad will be around, obviously, to give gifts out and stuff they always do on Christmas morning. Excuse me, and then we'll have our Christmas dinner here, and then Brooke will probably bugger off to her boyfriend's house that night, and then Christmas night will probably consist of me sitting on my own. So, but yes, a lot of great Christmas memories with the kiddies, ones that I'll always cherish. But again, when they grow up, obviously this is the sad part about having kiddies. They grow up and they move out and whatever else, and they move on. So hopefully I have some grandkids someday. Don't know when though, but yeah, I always say the best thing about grandkids is you can hand them back. I haven't got no grandkids yet, as you know, but I hope to see some grandkids someday. That's the best thing about having grandkids is all the grannies and grands I know out there, they all turn and say you can fucking hand them back to their parents. But no, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's one of the days you dread whenever your kiddies grow up and move out, and Christmas obviously changes with the times and stuff like that. But no, we're just going to make the most out of Christmas this year as most as we can. We'll just try and make the most out of it, because at the end of the day, you try and make as much out of life as you can, because at the end of the day, nothing lasts forever. So, but yes, it's going to be a strange Christmas this year. Very quiet one this year. Probably end up on my own at night time as well, like I normally do every year. So I'm well used to it by now. But thank you for your question. I do appreciate it. Right, let's go into some of your messages on Instagram. Let's have a look here to see. I did have Instagram open on my laptop, but I actually closed it. What a fool. Right, let's get in here and see what I've got. Right, I have one here from Josh. Josh writes to me on Instagram saying, "Hi Matthew, how are you? Big fan of your YouTube channel. Just wanting to see if you could give a special 21st birthday shout out to my friend Paul, who turns 21 this coming Sunday. We're heading off to Malta, okay, for his 21st birthday party. And we want to see if you could give a big shout out to him for his birthday." Okay, no problem at all, Josh. Paul, happy 21st birthday. You're getting old. Why are you going to Malta for? Of all the places in the world, Malta? Unless it's something in Malta that he wants to go and see, I don't know. But all I can say to you is, have a happy 21st birthday. God, I wish the hell I was 21 again. Jeez, I remember being 21, I think it was yesterday. All those years ago. Anyway, yes, for me and the Moore family and the Moore Army, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Don't drink too much. Happy birthday to you. Have a great birthday, and thanks to your mate Josh for obviously sending in that message. So hope you have a great birthday and enjoy your 21st birthday. God, I wish the hell I was 21 again. I would love to be 21. I really, really would. Thank you for your message. Right, let's get into another message here on Instagram. Let's see where you're from now. I've actually clicked out of the message requests here. Need my head looked at. Right, I've one here from Dean. Dean writes to me on Instagram. "Hi Matthew, can I just ask you what your favourite animal is of all time? I am a big cat fan. Don't have any cats at the moment. My last cat and current cat obviously passed away a few years ago, but I haven't got around to getting one. But I do love cats. I don't know why I get another one, as my other cat was nearly 20 years old, and I didn't want to get another cat as I think it would break my heart. Sorry. What is your favourite animal of all time?" Favourite animal? Gee whiz. I don't really have a favourite animal, to be quite honest with you, but at the minute with Brooke obviously harassing me at the minute about bloody ducks, I'm starting to watch, and she sends me all these duck videos on Instagram to watch all the time. Ducks is quite, I actually love baby goats. Do you ever see some of the videos online of baby goats? They're so funny. And the way they jump up and down, the way they bounce. Oh, they're so hilarious to watch. And then whenever they run away and they either get scared or whatever it is, they sort of freeze and they fall over like a statue. I think it's hilarious. Always had a family dog. And when I was growing up, always had a family dog. And we had cats and goldfish. But I don't really have a favourite animal, to be quite honest. I really don't have a favourite animal. That's just being totally honest with you. We've had dogs and cats that have lived for years and then passed away. When I was growing up as a kid, we used to have a couple of family dogs that got really old, and then they all got old and passed away, unfortunately. And then we've had cats over the years too as well. And, you know, mum's even had budgies when I was younger too as well back in the day. But no, I don't really have a favourite animal, to be quite honest with you. But you're into cats, that's your thing. So, but it's always hard to replace an animal whenever you've had one for so long. It really, really is. It's really hard to replace an animal when you've had it for so long. A lot of people just go out there and replace it right away. That's their choice. But again, some people find it really difficult, especially when they become like your best friend. It's very, very hard. So it is. So there you go. Right, well, thank you for your question. I do appreciate it. Let's go on to one more here on Instagram before I go into the Jackass of the Week. Right, let's have a look. Right. I have one here from, oh my goodness me. One here from, I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh, it's just because it's all one big name. For what I can read, it's Carl with a K. Excuse me. Carl, where are you from? Doesn't even read the bell on your message here to see where you're from. I'll click on your profile. Let's see where you're from. Okay, doesn't say. Right, Carl with a K writes to me, "Hi Matthew, I've seen in the news quite a lot recently about a lot of young ones dying due to vaping." I actually saw that myself, actually. Can I ask you your opinion on it? And also for young ones, especially smoking. I know in the recent King's speech, he turned around and said about stopping younger ones from smoking and vaping. Can I get your view on this? Certainly you can, Carl with a K. Yes, I saw a few things here on the local news as well about a lot of young ones. I've seen, this is actually really weird, I've seen kids as young as 9 and 10-year-old in this country vaping. Like, what the hell is their parents doing? Unless their parents don't know. I've seen a lot of young ones vaping. I've seen a thing on Mum brought it to my attention a few weeks ago of a wee young girl at 13 or something. She's been vaping since she was like 8 or 9. And she got to the point because obviously she was so young and her body wasn't fully properly developed into an adult. She ended up in hospital because of it all. My view on it all is I don't think, again, vaping's a personal choice from somebody. Obviously it stops them from smoking cigarettes, but again, I don't know. But any kids out there, we all know guys, when we're all younger, you see kids out there trying cigarettes and trying alcohol and experiencing things in their life not there. My goodness me. It's just, you see it all the time. You've seen it for generations. But these vape pens especially, even smoking in general for young kids. Like, I remember even going to school and like primary school and seeing boys smoking primary school. I remember seeing boys vaping even before they got to high school. So my opinion on it all, to the law state that obviously, about smoking and stuff like that for kids and vaping and stuff like that, absolutely for kids, yeah, 100%. Once they get to a certain age, like 19, 20 or 18, 19, 20, whatever it is, it's their personal choice. There's nothing you can do about it. At the end of the day, they're going to do it. They're doing it because they're adults. But I don't know, it's just, you see a lot of young ones nowadays because of this vaping thing, and I think that's why the government's trying to bring in these rules now because of vaping. So it's a touchy subject, to be quite honest with you, because I've seen a lot of young ones out there, really, really young ones running around. Even when I've been out walking about in the public, I've seen ones walking past me younger than my Lewis, and they have vape pens in their hand, and I'm going to myself, number one, how the fuck are they getting it? And number two, does their parents know? So it's a bit of a touchy subject, to be quite honest, but I don't know. It's whenever you see young ones like 11 and 12-year-old suffering now because of vaping since they were like 8 or 7 years of age, it's like, what? 7, 8-year-old? What the hell is their parents doing? Is their parents not even watching what they're doing? But again, kids nowadays can get things, and it's crazy. It really, really is. But thank you for your question on that. I appreciate it. And it's now time to move on from the questions, guys, to the favourite segment of the show that I love. Let's get moving on to the Jackass of the Week segment. I actually love this time of the week. You know why I love this time of the week of the podcast? Because you guys send me in all your messages about Jackass of the Week, who it should be, and different stories, and why they should be Jackass of the Week, and it's great. But I actually picked this one on Wednesday, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, because of obviously the week it's been. And it's his dad's birthday, and he's been a bit of a jackass. And news came out last night that apparently he tried to contact him, maybe because he's feeling guilty about it all, about his recent actions. But there's rumours going around now that apparently he didn't try and do it, and he didn't even make an effort. So it's night time for the segment that I love. It's night time for the Moore Army podcast, Jackass of the Week segment. There he is. Oh, Boris the donkey. Gotta love him. Guys, this had to be Jackass of the Week, especially because it's his dad's 75th birthday. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? Well, after very little consideration this week, actually, the Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you very much, as always. The Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week is, could I even call him Prince now? Let's call him Jackass Harry. Prince Harry. And the reason why I called him out this week is because Dad's 75th birthday, there was talk that he wasn't even going to even make an effort to even contact his dad or be anywhere near his dad on his 75th birthday. Apparently he's not even going to be there for Christmas either this year, but there were stories going around late last night that apparently he tried to contact his dad and he spoke to him on the phone. But after clearing that up this morning, apparently it's a load of nonsense. It's all a publicity stunt again. Is it to do with Meghan in the background as well? We don't know. But in my opinion, the Jackass of the Week for this week is definitely Harry, because of his recent actions on his dad's 75th birthday. He's a moron. He's obviously still looking for drama, in my opinion. And he is this week's Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week. So he is. So there you go. He's a moron. I don't even think he's been Jackass of the Week now for a few months. But anyway, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of Thursday's episode. Once again, sorry if I did sound a bit groggy today at the start of this podcast, because I'm just feeling a bit sort of rough around the edges. I need more coffee, actually, so I do. As I said, I'm recording this podcast this morning in my kitchen. I'm looking across there and thinking to myself, yeah, that coffee machine is going to be getting put on about a minute or two after I record this podcast. Guys, I hope you all have a great weekend, no matter what you're up to. Thank you for all your questions for the podcast as normal. I do appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you send in to me here every week. Check out some of the vlogs that are going to be coming up on the channel over the weekend again as well. Again, at the moment, we've released some Christmas jumpers and hoodies at the minute on the moorarmy.co.uk website for Christmas. So if you want to go and grab some of them, we're hopefully going to get some kiddies, jumpers and stuff out over the next couple of hours, over the weekend at least. So stay tuned for that. So if you want to keep nice and warm over the winter, get yourself some Moor Army merchandise over Christmas. We've also released a new Moor Army and Moor Army podcast, double logo mug as well on the website. So you want to get yourself a mug and drink your nice hot chocolate over Christmas time, or drink your nice coffee or tea in that there. We've got Moor Army mugs on there to do with the podcast, the YouTube channel. Lewis has even got one on there as well, his Orba mug. Also got a double logo one as well, which was released the other day too as well. So they're all available now on the Moor Army website, so don't forget to go and check those out. Guys, I'm going to head down the road here now, get this podcast out, get my day on the go, and then get ready for tonight to have a couple of cold beers and chill out and switch off and enjoy my Thursday as I always do here every week. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. If you're in the Belfast area this weekend, you want to come watch some football. Football match Lewis and I are attending this weekend is Harlingmouth Builders versus Ards in East Belfast at the beautiful Glansflower Stadium, one of the best stadiums in the country. So you want to come watch some football, we'll be there on Saturday. You'll see Lewis and I there knocking about. If you're there and you see us, come up and say hello. Nice to meet you as always. Hope you all have a great weekend, guys, and I will be back here on Tuesday for another edition, more RD Bargy and more stuff here on the Moor Army podcast. So until next Tuesday, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you back here for another episode of the Moor Army podcast. Thanks for listening, guys.